Welcome to Showdown. Shut up, Chris, don't try it. How are we doing, guys? Tonight's topic is how to be a real heel in the modern era. Quite frankly, there are not enough real heels in my opinion, so I wanted to discuss with you guys what it takes to be a real heel. Joining us tonight, we have Paul, we've got Skeletor, we've got Chris, and we have our new associate, the Mind of Carnage. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah. Great.
Good.
Apps.
Sorry, that was Paul, not Skeletor. It was hard to tell.
Still,
Stuff stopped and going great.
Still alive, unfortunately.
That
Get your asses out of your head.
pretty accurate idea of how I'm feeling.
But that's nothing new from last night, so it's fine.
Oh man, this water is stale. Ew.
Wow, real heel there, my friend.
That is. Hey, that's why you need to have a soda stream like me. If you ain't got a soda stream, you ain't shit.
That's how you be a real heel. You have to stay on water.
Yeah. Fuck, that's how you get
guys are
pissed
knowing me
off.
so. Well, why do you think
Triple H
spat
built his
his out?
career around it.
Yeah, he spat his out constantly. Too stale.
Fuck.
So let's.
He was kept giving him shitty water. he never wanted to spit it out. That was just what happened.
It's like, son of a bitch, it did it again.
Right, guys. Let's straight up. First question. Paul, what do you see as a heel, as a real heel?
As a real, genuine heel, a heel is somebody that not only gets that genuine boo reaction from the crowd, that hatred from the crowd, but it also makes the babyface they're going against even better, even more over. I mean, it's not only their job to get booed by the crowd, but to make that babyface look even better, which is a very underrated aspect of being a heel, which is kind of a lost art nowadays.
Okay, so can we all agree that being a real heel is kind of a lost art?
Yes.
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the most part, obviously this real heel gimmick isn't getting over. So who do we see as real heels?
Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah, I agree with that because he just has a way of talking. Like you can really end up hating the guy if he truly wants to be a heel.
Yeah, I mean, the one that always confused me, which was the promo they did after WrestleMania, when Brock beat Taker.
Yeah, that should have cemented him as the biggest heel in the company. Unfortunately, people cheered him.
Yeah, because they realised how good the promo actually was.
Well, because he's always going to be over with a smart crowd. A
Yeah.
true heel will never be over with the smart crowd. He will get booed by the smarts.
Yeah.
So it's as much as a problem with us as it is with the business itself.
But another example of a guy who got extremely heel here, and yes, I'm going to say it, was Punk in the Straight Edge Society.
Yep, agree 100%.
Yep.
I will admit that gimmick was fantastic at getting heat.
That was
Did
the
you
best
hear
stretch of
that?
that guy for me.
Did you hear about the story of what happened to him at a live event?
Is this about the old woman?
Yeah, the old lady jumped the rail and told him, "You are the devil," and was trying to hit him.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's-
crowds were so hot for that. I mean, they really wanted to just get at him, and that's not something that we've seen in WWF since the '80s. So
I was
I
gonna-
mean,
I was gonna
Old
say-
ladies are the best wrestling fans.
I was going to
easily.
say, I'm not going to lie, it was like I was listening to Paul Heyman talk about how he used to have his tyres slashed and everything because he was that good of a heel that people legitimately hated him. And Punk is the only recent... Punk and Lesnar after he beat Taker were the only real times I've seen someone get booed on that scale. Of course, I haven't been watching for as long as you guys, so...
Okay, so who else do we see as a current real heel?
Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
She
She's
gets
about
booed
as good as-
everywhere and anywhere.
Yep, she's
No
gonna
matter
get,
what.
She's great at being a heel. We all know that she's great at it, and the smarts boo her as somebody fell.
She's like prime Vince. Like
Who broke a
prime.
hip? Everybody okay? Was that you, Craig?
I hurt my knee.
No, I
Oh,
caught the
damn.
wire on my headphones and tugged it, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I also hurt my knee.
oh.
No, his headphones are more important right now, Craig.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You damn
You
heel.
can replace a kneecap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Ask Ray.
Yeah, that hasn't taken yet. So.
So I'll tell
Actually,
you what.
and that's the one segment about Ray. It's like even when Punk was in the Straight Edge Society, when he was focusing on Ray's kid, that was a promo that I didn't forget that one because it really did showcase him as being a bad heel. Or
Oh,
that-
the happy
like-
birthday.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
That was epic.
Yeah.
To me, you're doing your best heel work when you make it uncomfortable to watch.
That
Yeah.
was like what I felt, and I was just like, that was good.
Okay, so who outside of WWE at the moment? I know we've kind of said prior, there's not that many, but who do we see out with WWE as being a real heel? For me, a couple of names jump to mind, like EC3 and TNA.
Yep.
Yeah, he's effective.
Back a couple of months ago, I guess you had Dixie, we could have said was a real heel. Because, I mean, she was getting real hate. I mean, fan hate and mark hate. But people didn't want to see her regardless.
What about Bubba? When the whole Aces and Eights?
I was unsure if they were getting hate because the gimmick was crap, or if they were getting hate because Bubba was good at it.
No, that actually seemed like it was a case of holy shit, that was a curveball people didn't actually expect.
But you can also even relate that back to ECW when Bubba and Devon were like yelling with the audience, calling their people whores and this, that, and the other. That was also true hate there.
Oh, they were almost inciting riots on a nightly basis.
Oh, it was wicked. Mom just spitting in his face, or he's spitting in hers, or vice versa.
Oh,
And
yeah, it was so
they-
good.
They maintained that for a stretch in WWE when they were freaking putting Mae Young through tables and shit.
Oh,
I
just
think
imagine smelling
you can
that.
even look back to when they put the Hardys and Edge and Christian through tables when they first debuted.
Mhm.
I mean, this was two teams that had built up, mutual respect for each other. The fans were getting behind them. They were helping each other out when they were being attacked, and then all of a sudden the Dudleys take both teams out at once.
And then when they finally get an edge on the Dudleys and start actually beating them, freaking Spike shows up and starts interfering in matches. It was a great little go there.
I have no comment.
What about recently? I've started watching a little bit of Lucha Underground. The guy who's on screen as owning Lucha Underground, running the business like a mafia boss.
Oh,
I
oh my God, what's his
personally
name?
kind of like that, and the bit that really made me like it was the moment that they put a cigar out in Big Rick's eye. I mean, it sounds ridiculous
Why is this funny, Craig? Why do
because
laugh?
you thought I said big dick.
A man almost lost an eye. Jeez, that's
He
not
did
being...
almost lose an eye. Big Dick almost lost his eye.
It's terrible.
To be clear, I'm actually a big fan of Ezekiel Jackson. So, big Dick, Big Rick, I don't care who you are. You're good, man.
Yeah,
Man,
I
we were
know-
just talking
I-
about the Dudleys.
We-
and
we
there
don't
was
have
Big Dick
Lucha.
Dudley.
We don't have Lucha Underground here, so I haven't even seen it yet.
Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
I don't have it either, but you can get it online sometimes here and there.
And
They
I've
post some full things, but
that's more
I've been-
work than I'm willing to put in.
Yeah,
No, I know.
I've intended to watch it, and then I found that it is not supported. I have 1,000 freaking channels, and it's none of them. So I don't know what the hell it is.
YouTube it. Okay, so between today's heels and heels back in yonder year, when would you say was the last real heel before the modern era?
Define the modern era. When does that start?
I believe the modern era is seen as after the Ruthless Aggression era.
Oh, in that case, I'd say Vince McMahon and Austin.
Yep, I'll go with Vince.
You think that was
It's
the
always
last lot
good.
of real heels?
Vince wasn't a heel in the sense that he always got the crowd to boo him. He was a heel in the sense he always got Stone Cold over. Like
Yeah. Without McMahon, there is no
that was, yeah,
Austin.
yeah.
Austin doesn't get over like he does
I'd be-
without Vince.
Tempted to say Triple H.
Triple H Triple H
Mostly
had a
when-
pretty good stretch there of being big boss heel that
yeah.
everyone hated.
Mostly
Well,
when he was in Evolution.
When he was champion, no, that was almost bordering on like X-Pac heat at times because you know what you were getting every week. He was going to come out there and bore you with a 25-minute soliloquy, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I was never big with I understand we're going with Triple H being a heel and all, but I don't know. I never thought that he got as much of a heel reaction as Vince did.
Yeah,
Just
he was
because the
never
whole
an
concept of
effective
the
heel.
boss.
Yeah, to me, he was not an effective heel. He was a boring heel.
He was still a good one. Don't get me wrong, but I just not like I didn't initially feel like I wanted to punch him.
Yeah, he bored me.
I think JBL was always pretty good at his job.
Good one.
Because he made people hate him, and he had a lot of great segments and stuff.
When he was doing the stuff at the border, doing border control.
Yeah, when he chased Mexicans back across the border, and like horrifying stuff like that. Like he had a good stretch of being like a great heel.
One that I can't believe we haven't mentioned was Edge.
I'll say Edge got real life heat when the whole Matt Hardy shit came down.
Yeah,
See, I
that's the
really
only time
like.
I can think of.
I really like Edge, but people like popped for him even when he was heel. Like
not with the Matt Hardy stuff. Yeah, great one. That's a great one right there.
I mean,
because that was real life heat. Yeah.
I'll say before that, what about? I know people will shun me, but American Badass Taker, when he started calling the crowd names, you know, when they would chant "What if you have sex with your mother," and the whole crowd goes "What?" and he's like, "I thought so."
Dude, he effed with Arn Anderson. Like, there's nothing more heel than that, than attacking Arn Anderson.
Oh yeah, he made Arn Anderson bleed. He made Arn Anderson bleed his own blood.
And that WrestleMania match has the greatest spine buster of all time.
Oh my god, it does, yes.
Well, Arn had that shit built up for about 8 years.
Yeah, I know. He hopped in that ring like 50 pounds overweight.
No, he looked good.
He was actually pretty good.
Well,
the guy's always been big, though. He's built that way.
But he rolls in there, hasn't wrestled in freaking like 6 years. He has like nerve damage in his arm, but then he picks up a 310-pound man like he's nothing. It is a beautiful spine buster.
Yeah, and he did a better spine buster than Triple H and Batista combined.
Well, yeah, of course he did. But
I was just, I think I tweeted that out about 3 weeks ago that I was watching that match actually.
Yeah, I watched that match like 6 months ago, and even in knowing the streak went on for like 10 more years, I thought Ric Flair was going to win off that spine buster.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Absolutely, I was going to bring him up. Yeah, him and Bob Orton. They used to have to like fight their way out of arenas in the '80s, right around right around WrestleMania 1. I mean, because they had that real hatred heat. I mean, it was genuine. Like they had to literally punch fans in the face to get out of fucking arenas.
Bob Orton was interesting because he was good at what he did, but they would slot him in with whoever was a big heel at that time. Like he would just change his personality and shit to be with them.
But in that case, though, it was almost like Piper needed somebody there just so he didn't get jumped in real life.
Well, it's true. The cast thing, I still love the cast thing. And I still love that he showed up at friggin' Randy Orton versus The Undertaker 25 years after he supposedly broke his arm. It was still with the cast on.
Here, I'll throw this one out there as a heel guide. Do you guys remember Ox Baker versus Ray Gunkel and the whole punch of death?
The heart punch.
And they rioted after the whole match where he just wouldn't stop punching him. I think it was like a 1972. I don't remember exactly what event it was. But that for me is true heat right there when you get a whole crowd in an arena to riot because you just won't stop punching a guy.
I'll say Jerry Lawler.
Right?
Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, there was Andy Kaufman that was getting the real heat there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jerry was the babyface.
I've got a great one, but it was in the modern era.
Go for it.
Jericho Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, Jericho was good at being heel.
But to go back
Yeah.
to Lawler, though, I mean, he was also the face on the side with Andy Kaufman, which was just a fantastic feud. If you guys aren't familiar with that, just go check it out. They had like this really cool like documentary about it, so go check that out. It's probably on YouTube.
If you don't
But
want to
he
watch the
was
documentary, go see the Jim Carrey film, Man
Yeah,
on
it's in the movie.
right. But then you turn around in the mid '90s, early '90s, and he was such a great heel with Bret Hart. Where
True.
he would just some of the shit that he said about Stu and Helen Hart. Oh my God! You listen to it now. There's no way anybody could get away with that on WWE TV. Just some of the shit that he said. It was incredible heel work, and that is why Jerry Lawler, best wrestler of all time.
Well, another
Where's my
one,
case?
which Craig's favourite, Ted DiBiase.
Oh,
Senior.
money.
That was a little cartoony, but yeah,
It worked.
Yeah, it did. I mean,
Even-
when he was attacking the crowd, basically, where he would offer kids money to do this, bounce the basketball 10 times and he'd kick the fucking ball. I mean, how great is that? It's such a scumbag.
So, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt because we got a little bit of breaking news from a live event right now. Apparently, Drew McIntyre, or Drew Galloway as some people know, appeared at the TNA taping to save Grado and Al Snow tonight in Glasgow. Not that anyone cares, but breaking news, blah blah blah.
Wow.
That makes me happy to know that Drew Mac could be headed or helping in TNA at least.
Hey, good for him. I mean, you know what? Hey, stick it in Vince's ass any way you can.
Thanks, Chris. Sorry, Chris Mitchell. Let's not get confused. Guys, I'm also going to mention one of our admins on our Facebook page has mentioned that Randy Orton.
Yes, I was just looking at that.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say he's incredibly underrated at what he does.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, Legacy Randy Orton when he was like Psycho and two. Was that 08, 09?
That was when he handcuffed and kissed Steph, yeah?
Yeah, that was
Dude,
08,
after
09.
DDT her.
Randy has almost non-stop been a top-tier heel, like since like 2004. Like
And even he said he likes the heel position because he's more free to do what he can.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
that's,
more free to shit in people's bags. I mean, you don't get much bigger heel than that.
I really
of course.
liked, like, he had that promo with Cena before Hell in the Cell, where he was trying to get the point across about the pay-per-view, and people started saying boring or whatever, and he just started screaming about how much he hates their baseball team for like 10 minutes.
But the one thing you've got to give Orton, regardless of whatever it's in, I mean, even like when Ambrose missed a move in the match, Orton took the opportunity to get heat and to antagonise the crowd, which is, he's not just a good heel, he's a smart heel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and he gets the point that it's hard to get over as a heel if you are doing exciting babyface offense, which a lot of guys, especially on the indies, do not understand. Randy Orton works the limbs, and he picks people apart, and nobody wants to see that really, but it makes matches good, and it makes him get heat.
Yeah, I have to admit, this is why I'm concerned about an Adrian Neville heel turn, if that ever happens, because I don't know what they would do for that.
He's too flashy. He would have to lose his finisher.
Exactly.
How can you turn Mighty Mouse?
He would have to do that reverse Hurricane Rana as his finisher, because it's like an attack from behind, so it kind of works.
It's still gonna be flashy. He would have to use a heart punch.
If he can reach.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so let me ask you, what does it take to make a real heel? I don't mean as in you're going to get a couple of people booing and crowds cheering. Like, you don't have to go to towns like Philly to get heat, basically. Who is a real heel constantly? And what does it take to remain that level?
I was going to say, that's a different question.
Yeah. To be a real heel and to stay a real heel, what you basically have to be able to do and what you have to be willing to do is to do the stories that seem a little bit iffy. And by that I don't mean the stories that seem bad, I mean the stories that seem a little bit like they would possibly have people want to kill you, e.g. the stuff that Punk did with Paul Bearer's ashes.
Or when Randy Orton told Rey Mysterio that Eddie Guerrero was rotting in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like 2 weeks after his death, too.
That's the kind of stuff you should be willing to do. Like, that will pretty much cement you as a damn good heel.
With no hesitation, too.
Yeah, you have to be able to antagonize a crowd. Like you can't miss a beat really. Or you'll go and you attack the defenseless, weak. As we've been saying with Lesnar, should be attacking Reigns' family. The heels need to do that.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, they need to look like the big bully on the playground, basically,
Like, I always find that, because you know how they do the Susan K. Coleman, I don't remember the exact name
Susan
of it.
G. Komen,
yeah. I always had a thought that when Orton and Cena were feuding, and if that was going at the same time, a perfect way to get more heat on Orton was to say that he doesn't give a crap about the gimmick to support this. He doesn't care about this. All he wants to do is just kick Cena's ass and doesn't care about people's ideas. I always thought that would have been a good thing to kind of put a lot of heat on him. Never went along with that, but...
Well...
Shareholders.
I was going to say...
Yeah. But you don't want them losing money.
If someone cough Triple H ever has the brains to privatize the company, that could happen. That sort of stuff could happen again. But in the meantime, nah.
Okay, so what? Other than obviously going that little bit further,
you got to have a great baby face to play off of as well.
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just as important because you need that baby face to be able to create that sympathy.
I mean, there's a lot of people just now that could be successful heels that just don't have enough good baby faces to work with. Yeah. I don't mean as in like, oh wow, he's good, people think he's great in the ring. I mean, he's good in that he's likable, kids actually like him, parents like him.
Yeah, he has to tell the story as well.
Yeah.
People have to get sucked into him.
Yeah, you look at Ricky Morton. Sucked into. You look at Ricky Morton. I mean, he is one of the most effective baby faces of all time because he would just make you feel so bad when he was taking a shit kicking, and that's what a good face does.
And this is what.
I was gonna say that bookers have to play to the strengths and weaknesses of the talent because like sometimes they give Randy Orton like a 20-minute Triple H soliloquy, and he can't do that. He can't even approach doing that. Randy Orton only works if you put him out there for 5 minutes, and halfway through those 5 minutes he loses his damn mind and just starts freaking out. That's the only way that dude works.
I'll admit, I liked his promos before, I think it was maybe before or after SummerSlam, where Orton started kicking a fuss up in the middle of the ring with Seth Rollins and things like that.
Yeah, he just starts spazzing out, which is like the best Randy Orton. Is when he the two good Randy Ortons are petulant child Randy Orton from when he was like the Legend Killer and shit, and then absolute psycho. Both work, both are great. It's just when they put him out there to be Triple H, he doesn't do that at all.
No, I think
And it was also with the Legend Killer Randy Orton, where he at that time too he would attack parents at ringside. You just get that more personal heel feel.
Getting that sweet beat up Kamala heat.
Yeah. Kamala.
So I asked on Twitter the same question I asked you guys. What do you feel makes a real heel? Cable guy Chris says the way to get the crowd against you in a flash of a moment is actions and words, and just keep it going long term.
And that's even more difficult in this day and age where fans will just sit on their hands. I mean, you get crowds on Mondays that are quieter than some Japanese crowds. It
kills the show.
Yeah, it kills a show, and it kills heels as well. It kills heat.
Because I always find with the crowds, too, is if you got a good hot crowd, it makes you, even watching from home, really into the show, and you get really into what the wrestlers are saying, which makes you pay attention more.
Yeah, it can take a good match and make it great.
Yeah. Which is why the Mania period is always the best period of the year, because they don't seem to have any of the dull crowds.
Right.
So,
but now we're overly smart, so, I mean, it's a double-edged sword,
Yeah, this is what I was going to move on to. Do you guys feel that with today's audiences, with the use of the internet, with the use of social media, it's actually possible to remain a pure heel? I mean, you're always going to have one or two people that are now cheering you because they think it's the cool thing to do. So is it possible?
I always had an idea for a competitor to really get that heel thing, because when it comes to heels, you bad talk the audience, you bad talk the town, you focus on negative reactions toward children or something like that. That will put heel on you, or heel tactics on you. One idea I always had was that if you had a competitor who actually read out the tweets that people are sending him and he just makes fun of every single one of them, that could also put heel kind of tactics on you.
No, because I could imagine someone like Miz doing that, and it would just end up.
Yeah, people enjoy like that kind of thing, like insult comedy crap on Twitter. Like
it all depends on who's doing it and your tone. Like I think EC3 could do that and make it
easily.
Really effective. I mean, because you just look at him when the crowd chants, you can't wrestle.
The only other person I could see doing that would be Paul Heyman doing it about people that had said Brock Lesnar sucks.
I was actually going to say Paul Heyman's the one guy. Paul Heyman can do anything to be heel. I mean, I could see him going on about so and so says that The Rock can't beat Roman Reigns. Well, get out of your basement, you fat. Just
yeah. That's what I mean, though.
I gotta say though, we're gonna see how good of a heel Paul Heyman is in the next couple months.
We're also going to see a more serious side of, I think, a business side of Lesnar, in the sense where last time he was leaving the company, we all saw that feud with Goldberg, and we all saw how bad it ended. This time, I think he's going to have learned to put some effort in, hopefully.
Well, that was a special circumstance where both guys were leaving the company in the same night.
Neither guy wanted to be in the ring.
Yeah, neither one of them wanted to be there. Horrible. And it was like the crowd all found out at the same time. Like word spreads. Like everyone's playing fucking telephone in the crowd.
And
it just spread, and it was unbelievable.
I was going to say the other option there is you said about Brock kind of doing his part in the last match. If Brock doesn't do his part in the last match, WWE aren't even going to bother putting in a bid to keep him in the company, let alone worry about him going to UFC.
But wrestling Goldberg was always a losing proposition for anybody.
They still put him in the ring.
Cuff, cuff.
I like exactly one Goldberg match, and that was just when William Regal decided to start stretching his ass.
No, you're not supposed to like his matches. He's supposed to come in there 30 seconds, beat the shit out of you, hit you with a spear, hit you with a jackhammer, and walk out. I mean,
no, but he was a babyface. Like, yeah, I could not like that guy.
Oh, I loved him, and that should be Roman Reigns.
And another good heel, one that we have not mentioned, which I'm very surprised Craig hasn't mentioned.
Go for it.
Kevin Steen / Kevin Owens.
I haven't mentioned it yet because I haven't got to the NXT section, but goddamn, he is doing a wonderful job as a heel.
That guy, I can't wait. Unfortunately, with WWE and NXT, I guarantee he's going to be limited, but that guy was amazing.
He's got this really weird thing where the crowd hates him and boos him, but then they're all wearing his T-shirt. It's a really weird thing.
Because they are a crowd that is, they get into it. They're
immersed in the product, basically.
Yeah, they're immersed in it. And that's always good to see. I mean, but yeah, on the topic of, was someone just saying about Kevin Owens being misused or something like you worry about? Because I guarantee you, by the time he gets called up, it'll be longer.
I mean, they're not going to let him be the heel that he was like in ROH when him and Generico were really feuding there. But I think that they're going to let those two go.
I was going to say, you say that, but Punk got to do all of his straight edge stuff that he did back in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but Punk had that power to go, fuck you, I'm going to say what I want.
I think Steen will eventually get that just due to the fact he's got the relationship with Triple H.
We'll see. I hope so. I hope more guys get that. Yeah. I hope more guys get that power.
I hope more of the NXT guys get that.
I want to say that the whole concept that people seem to have of in the like 1996, 7 and before, everyone booed the heels and cheered the faces is pretty not accurate. But because I was just watching a match not too long ago with Ric Flair in peak Four Horsemen, like interfering in his matches, him doing shit, and people were chanting his name during his match. Like
Well, where
happened.
was it? Where was it? Was it down south?
I think it was down south.
There you go. He was always going to be over down south.
But
Just the
yeah,
way
it was at like a Starcade.
Yeah, it was just the way that it was. I mean, because he was a cool heel.
It didn't help that his opponent was Ronnie Garvin, who was the worst.
Oh, stop! You know nothing.
So, who
In your face.
as being the worst heel? And I mean, like, as in, they're not quite a heel, but they're meant to be a heel.
Miz.
Titus O'Neil.
No, I think Miz is a heel, and like Miz is a really good heel currently.
People don't like him, and it's getting Mizdow or whatever over. Like it's effective. Like since he got a slight repackaging like 8 months ago, he's been doing fairly well.
I think this repackaging works for him.
I would have to go with Titus O'Neil though.
I'm gonna go Tyson Kidd. Fuck that guy.
No, 'cause at least you hate Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate him for all the wrong reasons. I'm sure. I mean, I loathe him.
I will say Cesaro, because Cesaro is doing everything he can in the ring to get over with the fans.
Mm-hmm.
He's not meant to be.
Right.
He's meant to be the bad guy that ignores the fans or tells the fans to fuck off. He's doing the opposite.
Why does my mind got sidetracked just thinking about him, but because it was about William Regal. But William Regal did this thing where he would like almost break people's fingers, and like do like really horrifying stuff like that all the time in his matches. I never see anybody do that.
That's because it's a classic British thing. We are better bad guys than you Americans.
And he was such a great chicken shit heel when he was like Lord Steven Regal, and then he could turn around and just be the most badass heel you've ever seen.
I like Commissioner Regal.
Yeah, he's great. He is
I mean, it's just like
great.
that guy would get in the ring and he'd stretch somebody out and he'd like break their fingers and twist, like pull in their nose and like rake their eyes and shit, like while doing the rest of his moves. And I don't see anybody do that except occasionally face Dean Ambrose does that.
Yeah, I've seen Dean Ambrose bite someone's fingers. That got me. So.
What are your guys' thoughts on Bo Dallas?
He's getting X-Pac heat and he's getting over at the same time. It's very confusing.
I could not make a decision on him in the amount of time I was given before he got his foot broke or whatever.
Yeah. What a shame.
But
I hope he stays gone.
But his gimmick though, when you think about it, you just write it down. You look at it at face value. He
can be big.
You look at that, and then you look at John Cena on Twitter, and you show me the difference between the two. There is none. To me, he is just a rib-on Cena. That's all he is.
I questioned if that was the point of it originally.
Isn't it?
No,
I
mean,
think it's
like,
the point.
do you think Vince did that on purpose, or do you think it was he went, this will be really annoying?
It's a coincidence for sure. I mean, it's a talking point.
Well, because it was weird because it was NXT where they try to get him over as fiery babyface and nobody liked him. So then they kind of shifted him into that. Like they organically shifted him from annoying fiery babyface into heel.
WWE is kind of like psychology, you know. They tell us to do one thing, and we're always just going to go the opposite direction. You know, JBL, don't vote for this, and we're like, yeah, okay, we're voting for it. You know, it's
they're constantly working on. They're constantly working us. Where they like the polls on the whatever on the app. They're going to lead you towards what they want.
By the way, do you guys know how to download that? I know I have a video I can show you.
Oh, don't worry, because eventually we're gonna be doing that on the show for our own app. So
there we go.
You like that? I'm like Shawn Michaels and Triple H back in DX days. I know how to show. Goddammit.
Well, it's because there's the polls, at least to my knowledge, aren't like strictly rigged to where we just throw in whatever we want. But what they do is they know what the option they want is. And then they make all the other options the same thing, the same as each other. So it splits the vote.
oh, let's do a street fight or hardcore match or no DQ. It's like they're all the same fucking thing.
To be fair, that match never actually happened.
Yeah.
that Brock Lesnar just murdered Chris Jericho, and that
Yeah.
didn't even happen.
That was ridiculous.
So, obviously we've discussed the worst heels and the best heels. What do you think defines the two differences? I know that sounds really silly.
The
A
people,
heel
that are good,
doing...
the people that are good went through NXT.
I think it's the passion from the person who's actually portraying that heel. You know, if you feel that you are actually that, if you're that person anyways, or you're a little bit stuck up or anything, you can actually really portray a positive
You
heel.
follow the
Or, you know,
buzzards,
Titus
man.
O'Neil. Yeah, like like for example, we said Titus O'Neil earlier. You know, he's a very family-oriented man. He's a very happy guy. He's happy-go-lucky. But look, he's not getting the heat that that people want him to have because he's just not that type of personality.
And nowadays, you have to be a heel 24/7 in order for it to be effective. You
Mhm.
you can't be a heel on TV and then be a baby face on Twitter. You know that can't happen.
You know, one heel that he even does it off camera is Alberto El Patron, Del Rio, when he was in WWE.
Yep.
He was a good heel.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I mean, you know, you have to live the gimmick, and that's what guys like Piper did back in the '80s. That's what the Iron Sheik did. I mean, you know.
That's what the
still do it.
original Sheik did. Because
Yeah,
I heard
look how
the-
much heat those guys would get.
Yeah, I mean, I heard
Right.
the story where someone like recognized him, and he wasn't in like full costume or whatever. Like he had kind of partially broken kayfabe, and someone recognized him, and so he panicked, and he pulled out friggin' flash paper and threw a fireball at the dude and left.
That's awesome. I mean, that is what pro wrestling is missing nowadays.
Fireball.
what-
Dedication to be a heel.
Yes, live the gimmick. Bring back kayfabe any way that you can.
I think when they start mixing kayfabe with reality as well, that's when you get the most out of a heel. Like, as we said earlier, the idea of Randy Orton telling Ray that Eddie's dead. Stuff like that. I mean, Brock Lesnar pushing a one-legged, injured, in a wheelchair Zach Gowen down a set of stairs.
That's good stuff.
That was perfect because he was, 1, disabled, 2, injured, and 3, a major babyface at the time. And they killed him off by pushing him down the stairs.
But look at the way that people used to like screw with Hornswoggle and stuff.
Zach McGowan died on the way back to his home planet.
See,
Yeah, but nobody feels bad for midgets though. So I mean,
yeah,
that's
no one feels bad for Swoggle now because he's taken that many beatings. He should be fucking used to it.
Dude, one of my favorite WrestleMania moments is the dumbest thing ever, which is just
If you
when
said a mini ladder,
No. That wasn't at WrestleMania. But
Yeah, it was.
Favorite moment.
it was. That was. I'm sorry. But JBL was wrestling Finlay or whatever, and Hornswoggle was outside, and JBL and Finlay were just beating the shit out of each other. But mid-match, JBL just picks up a trash can, and he looks at Finlay, and he kind of weakly bumps him with it, and then he turns around and he looks at Hornswoggle, and he makes eye contact with him, and he just runs over and throws it full force out of the ring into his face. And he just launches away. And I just lost my mind when I saw Hornswoggle get just trashed like that.
so who could be a major heel if they were given the right push at the moment?
Lesnar,
Me.
Reigns.
me.
Me and Paul, our tag team. Well,
That ended on Lowdown. So
hey, we always keep you guessing.
You've been Janetti. Don't worry about it.
No.
I think Barrett could be a pretty good heel.
Lesnar, Reigns, Bryan. I'd say Rollins, but Rollins is doing a good job as it is.
No, see, right, I'm going to argue this right now. Rollins is not a heel. Rollins is, in fact, a heel cool guy. He's not a heel.
Yeah.
He's a heel cool guy.
Yeah, he's
Because
a
the
cool guy.
internet is butt fucking him with a fist.
Yep.
So hard.
Yeah, like, I had no care for the guy, to be honest with you.
I got mixed feelings about that because
Yeah.
usually does get his heat from the crowd. Like he usually pulls that out.
Yeah, but
I was going to say Rollins gets more heat than Wyatt does.
but in a match though, I mean, you know, like when he pulls off the Phoenix Splash.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
he did
that's
that,
something-
Guess what? he's getting a pop for that.
Well, that's what I was talking about with Orton earlier. Like,
Yeah.
Orton has zero flashy offense, except for, I guess, the RKO,
The
kinda.
RKO will always get a pop. So.
But that's it. That's literally
Speak-
the only part of his offense.
But here's the thing, though: would RKO get as a pop if it wasn't for social media and advertising it so much?
It did before
did
that.
ages
Dude, it got
ago.
the pop in like 03.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah, like even when DDP even started it. I mean, it always got a pop because
Yeah,
it literally does. It would come out of nowhere. It just
If I remember correctly, if you watch him do it to Stacy Keibler or whatever, people pop before they boo. Like they go, "Oh, RKO," and then they're like, "Oh."
That's another thing that would make it that makes an effective heel. Just go after a woman. Yeah, go attack a woman. There you go. You're an automatic heel.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like they popped for the RKO, and then a second later they turn because they realized what actually happened.
Unless that woman heel is Dixie Carter or Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, to be 100% clear, we don't consent male on female violence, but in a wrestling circumstance, when it's staged completely.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have to admit, one I loved was the Daniel Bryan back at WrestleMania 27-28, when he had that thing with AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if that had been done, if they do that again now on the scale that Bryan could be at, that would cement Bryan as one hell of a heel. Bryan could be a very good heel.
Bryan with both Bellas on his arms as a cocky heel. You know it would be hilarious, and you know he'd be great at it.
It would be hilarious, but people would jerk off all over it.
It's okay. Then halfway through, all he has to do is slap Nikki and tell her she's worthless. She leaves, and he's left with Brie.
I don't know, like.
You're worthless,
Daniel
just like
Bryan
those
is
plastic
so
things.
Daniel Bryan is so damn like bulletproof right now. Like, I can't even imagine him being a heel.
All right,
Like,
how do you turn Daniel Bryan heel? Let's do this. How do you turn him heel right now?
I got away, but they would never do it. I mean, he would have to be doing a Make-A-Wish and then beat up the kid.
Yeah, you'd have to do something horrifying.
The only thing I could say with Daniel Bryan turning heel is that if he attacks Sting when Sting and Triple H go eye to eye.
Oh, that's good.
That's actually not bad.
If Daniel Bryan goes with a chair for someone like either Reigns, or if he goes for Ziggler or Cena.
I
Ziggler,
used
I could
Connor
see that.
to make you care.
I don't know, like the thing
Yep,
about
there you
it
go.
is if you're gonna turn a dude through him attacking another superstar, that superstar as a face has to be as over or more over than him,
Which is
or else
why-
it doesn't work.
Which is why I
Wait.
said Ziggler, Cena, and depending
Ambrose.
on where they are in the feud, Reigns.
Ambrose good. Right now though, like if he attacked Roman Reigns, he's gonna get cheered.
Yeah, people are gonna
Ambrose.
cheer
You
it.
haven't attacked Ambrose.
Yeah, right now, if it happens at like Fastlane after, hopefully they've built some momentum behind.
I'm not even
Yeah.
positive people would turn on him with Ambrose. Like I'm not even positive of that. Like,
I think they
he's
would. with
pretty
Ambrose.
bulletproof.
No, I think Ziggler would be the best bet.
Yeah, probably.
Either
right
that,
now-
or you do start bringing him to the ring with Brie, and you have him treat her like shit. Like in the same way Sabin did to Velvet Sky in TNA.
Yeah,
I
but,
still don't think he'd get a negative reaction for that.
Yeah, because most of us don't care for the Bellas, so they.
I don't care-
You
I'd
know,
rather
that
have-
bitch deserves it. She deserves it.
I-
Slap
I'd
her
rather
once
they
a
get hit with a chair. I don't
Yeah.
condone violence towards women, but her, yes.
Dude, yeah, I mean, if he friggin' pile drivered them both on the steps, people would pop. Like, it's...
But what about if she
Like Hogan turned because people had gotten tired of him, and then he dropped the leg drop on Randy Savage, who was equally well liked or more. So that's like how the turn works. So I don't. People aren't
And that's-
tired of Daniel Bryan, and so you gotta
That-
get someone real good.
I wonder if Cena will turn that way too.
I've said when Reigns is properly cemented, that's when Cena turns heel. And I think it'll be his final feud. I don't see him
Yeah.
being sent off as a babyface.
Cena's final feud. That guy still has like a decade left in him, man.
Uh-huh. So let him be a heel for a long time.
Well, you can never guarantee that. Like he might get Bret Harted or something.
I honestly believe he'll leave before he needs to. He said he would leave when his time was up.
Like maybe his mutant healing factor stops working, and then he's done.
Super Cena is out.
Because I mean that dude came back a month later from like career-ending injuries. So
Wyatt beats him in a coffin. Yeah, Wyatt beats him in a coffin match and sets it on fire and absorbs his powers. He becomes Super Wyatt.
I mean, John Cena, like, he had that cyborg gimmick in OVW, but that wasn't a gimmick. John Cena is the gimmick. The prototype was the real life thing.
Wasn't Ryback the cyborg?
No,
Yeah.
John Cena was the cyborg.
He was, but Cena was prototype. He was prototype.
Yeah, he was the prototype, which is who he actually is. John Cena's just a name that was given to that machine.
The prototype, though, the gimmicks with the reverse, like the reverse promos, they were absolutely amazing. Like, they look really cool as well. I'm not gonna lie. If he did that now, though, he'd still get a face pop.
What reverse promos?
The what? Yeah, he did. He would cut a promo, and then all of a sudden he would completely rewind himself, and he would start the promo again in the exact same position with the exact same tone, the exact same phrases. And seriously, if you haven't seen it, YouTube it. It's well worth the 3 minutes of your life.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's honestly such a good promo. If he did it now, he'd get so many pops, and he'd actually be liked again for some kind of relative reason. John Cena, heel or face?
Face?
Is he, though?
Is he a heel or face? Oh, he's a total face. I mean,
He's a total face.
Yeah.
Depending on the demographic.
If a guy is loved by children, he is a face.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
I think this comes down entirely to what Carnage has just said there. It depends on the demographic and who's all in the arena.
Yeah, but, that's a bunch of smunts.
No, that's a bunch of crap. If I sit down and I talk to my 10-year-old nephew, and my 10-year-old nephew likes him, then he's a babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see kids going around in Bad News Barrett t-shirts. That doesn't make them a babyface.
Because Barrett is a cool heel.
Yeah, he's not a very effective heel, mostly.
No, he comes out, and
Not
he gets
yet.
a pop, and he gets a pop when he says, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. A real effective heel doesn't get a pop no matter what.
Yeah.
To be fair, I would like to see Barrett actually just be like a fighter character, not just like bad news. I got bad news, because it's more like you're acting too much for me to really get into your heel character.
Let him be like William Regal.
They
exactly.
tried that fighter thing for like 2 years.
Yeah,
and that
but
did
then he
not
got
get
injured.
over.
I was going to say they tried to bare knuckle box.
But it didn't even remotely get over, because saying that someone is like can fight in the context of wrestling is like saying that it's nothing. That's a trait everyone has.
Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman would beg to differ.
I was going to say that. To be
Steve
fair,
Blackman was never much.
The issue with Brawler Barrett was that he didn't really have a character. He was just a brawler. It was like, well, congrats, but you're missing like 9/10 of what makes people feel.
Well, that's the thing. His whole character was, I used to punch people, and now I punch people.
But then that character needs a mouthpiece.
And they never played it up, though.
True, they never did.
I have to admit, he did only get matches with like Justin Gabriel.
Yeah, he
wasn't
probably.
He wasn't working matches any differently. I mean, it was them as a creative team that flubbed that one, not Barrett himself. I mean, I think he can make almost anything work.
To
He's
be
a
clear
talent,
as well,
dude.
before we go off air, we forgot to mention one select group of people that would make great heels right now if used correctly, and that's New Day. That gimmick itself is annoying. People are already booing it.
I
Why
still
not
wouldn't. I still wouldn't care
really
about
bad?
that. I still wouldn't care.
You still wouldn't care if they were heel? Are you kidding me? You would hate them.
I would I hate them because they're trying to preach to the people that they need to change, they need to accept the New Day.
Man. I'm trying to think of that really shitty tag team that was like buddies with Sting in the early '90s.
I was initially going to say Essential.
RoboCop?
What?
RoboCop.
No, that tag team that I think had Shane Douglas in it. I think that was just like the worst. Like they were trying to appeal to like kids, but
What, Shane
kids of
Douglas and Johnny Ace?
Was it? I think
Yeah.
so. They were the worst. They was the worst. I like them individually, but that was the worst thing ever.
Speaking of heels that people hated, one I have to throw in very quickly. How did we forget John Laurinaitis?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Johnny Ace was such a
how did
hateable
we-
character
how
in
did we
real
forget?
life and on screen. Sorry, Krista. interrupt.
My favorite thing about Laurinaitis by far was that smoker's voice. Like,
Yeah.
My name is John Laurinaitis.
and do you know who got the worst heat for even trying his job was Mike Adamle.
Oh, that was just incompetence.
Oh yeah, he was just so bad. So basically, we came to the conclusion then that to be a good heel in the modern era, you need to have a babyface that's just as over as you to fight against and feud with. You need to have gimmick that works with what you're saying. You need to have non-flashy moves, or you need to have something that's going to fit your character and not the over-the-top stuff.
The team was the dynamic dudes. All right, go back.
Thanks, and you've got to be completely
Or
committed to your gimmick.
Yeah, you have to live the gimmick, and it doesn't hurt to use a pile driver.
Okay, question in that context. Who in NXT will make a good heel?
Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Eventually Baron Corbin.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
Baron Corbin's got some.
I was going to
got
say
some
Baron
legs.
Corbin's on my list.
What about Tyler Breeze?
No, he's
No.
shit. I hate him so much.
I don't like his face.
He's a good worker. His gimmick is not going to survive. On
He's
the main
just
roster.
Fandango mixed with John Morrison.
I want to smash his phone against his face.
And guess what that is? That's real, genuine heat right there.
I'm glad they stopped doing that stupid. I'm glad they stopped doing the. Because he was using a tiny iPhone, like Paul E. Dangerously would use the freaking massive ass '80s phone, and it was the worst thing in the world.
I think
I'm glad they stopped that.
And here's the one thing: you say that the gimmick works. The thing is that a gimmick works when you want. Like for me, I don't like when he comes on my channel. I change the channel. Like that shouldn't be an actual proper thing to rate being a heel.
Then it's Tyson Kidd heat then.
Like,
yeah, I was
he-
gonna say, I completely see him as you see Tyson Kidd.
I think Tyler Breeze can tear it up in the ring when he wants to. Like that Fatal 4-Way match, like he was basically the star of that.
But I'm not going to lie. A lot of the work I've seen Tyler Breeze do, for example, with Sami Zayn, Zayn's carried, Neville's carried.
Oh, by the way,
Oh.
you were saying about Neville coming up to the main roster being a heel. You put Mouthpiece Christian with him, and that's it.
Oh, I just remembered something. When I was at SmackDown, they had a bunch of dark matches with the NXT people, and Tyler Breeze had a match with Sin Cara, and like the crowd was actually pretty like alive the whole show and loud, except for during that match where they just died. They just died right there watching Tyler Breeze Sin Cara, and about halfway through, Tyler Breeze was doing like a bad sleeper hold to Sin Cara, and you can't see Sin Cara's face, so it's like, what are you even doing?
Stupid, yeah.
And all of us, and then he just starts, like he notices the silence, like the utter bored silence, and he yells at the fans, "Do you like this guy, don't you?" And the crowd gives him no response except for like 2 kids, and then he's like, "Well, it doesn't sound like it." And then he kept wrestling. I was like, what's wrong with you? That was not a good way to try to get heat.
Every time I see him, all I can think of is that he's Barbie's brother,
Well, you see,
But not, yeah.
but not
uh,
successful.
I'm not a big fan of Breeze, but I think that I'm not to the point where I will turn the channel, like if he has a match. Like, nah.
I skipped his matches on NXT.
Well, most of his matches on NXT now have devolved into him just doing that freaking beauty shot after getting beat up for 7 minutes.
Yeah, because he's no longer in the title picture because people are now focusing on Balor, Itami, Zayn,
Well,
Neville,
it's because they also
Owens.
bring in their own fan base, right? They have a much larger fan base than Breeze does.
Hell yeah.
You knew though the minute that Owens and Sami Zayn were on a show they were going to utilize that.
Yeah, they
Oh, hell
really
yeah.
missed their opportunity to bring him up, because I think you put him with the Miz, and that's an effective heel tag team.
You put who in this?
Maybe they will the minute
Tyler Breeze.
Miz Dollar
yeah.
finished.
Yeah, to me that's a perfect heel tag team right there.
That
What
could be
about
after
Miz?
Mania.
What about Ms. Fandango and Breeze?
Yeah,
You
I
made
would
me
be.
sick in my mouth.
Yep,
The
that's
dancing
point.
snow breeze or
Yep.
something. No.
They would be awful, and it would be great. Like, it would succeed at what it's trying to do.
They need a diva with them then. They
Yeah,
need a diva.
But to me,
You bring back Maurice.
I was going to say no.
Oh.
To me, the way
She actually got pretty decent by the end.
to me, the way you do that though is you just turn around and you say that the Miz, instead of having a stunt double, has decided he wants to have a protege, and he brings up Tyler Breeze.
Yep, perfect.
The thing I actually liked about Maurice is that she wasn't, particularly good worker or whatever, but she fully committed to segments. Like, no matter how dumb it was, she fully and utterly committed to what is happening. And
I
that is
two
like
things
my...
about her.
Well, okay, that too. But
She did have a
commitment
great
to a...
personality, Paul. She did.
Dude, that's not what I... God damn it, that's not what I was going for. Like,
Of course it was.
she came out as the damn gobbledygooker and hit Molina with a mask of the gobbledygooker costume. And she, like, fully committed to that stupid-ass segment.
You're a cooker.
What do you mean stupid ass
you-
segment? You know you loved that.
You liked that segment, didn't you? You're big with it.
On that note, guys, we have reached the end of Showdown for this week.
So
fuck.
hold on though. Should somebody tell Aaron that I've been posting pictures that I found of him, because now we finally know what he looks like. So yeah, so Skeletor, I'm sorry, behind your back. Throughout the show, I was posting pictures that I found of you. Actually, we finally found out what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh no, he did. It's all about
Yeah.
Aaron.
You're
And
one
that's how you
sexy
be a
bitch.
real heel. You stab your partner in the back.
that is how you be
When
a
he
real
doesn't
heel.
know.
Yeah.
So, as I said, guys,
Backgrounds, though, amazing.
we've reached the end of Showdown.
Oh, one of these is kind of accurate. All right. But
So,
I'm
for the
gonna
third
move
and final
on from
time,
that.
my God, we have reached the end of Showdown for this week, guys. This is going to be the final episode that we'll actually be putting on YouTube. So we want to let you know that from now on, if you want to listen to our shows, you'll be able to. There won't be so much as documented and kept on YouTube. They'll still be live on YouTube while we record. So you can hear it in its basic form, or you can wait until we put it on Podbean for you guys to go across and listen. So if you're going to do that and you want to keep up with all our podcasts, that's where you're going to need to go from now on, okay?
Yep, and for all you iTunes users, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Write a review for us. Give us 5 stars. We'll appreciate it. That'll really move us up so more people can listen.
Yep, and I'd just like to say as an exiting note from my friend John, yes, Paul Dempsey is shit.
I like Bull Dempsey okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't hate him.
Muted. Stop talking. I need to finish. Thank you. As of next week, we will be starting a new series, though, on YouTube for you guys. Myself and Paul will be putting together the top 5 list. This is going to be a new show for you guys that will be exclusive to YouTube, and you'll only be able to get it there. Guys, we have been the Levels of Wrestling. We hope you've enjoyed the show. And, of course, please join us next week for Lowdown, where we're going to be all over the place. Stay fresh and stay on the level.
We're also going to pretend to give a shit.